Brazil's coronavirus crisis worsens as patients tied to beds and ventilated without sedatives.
Here's a summary of the article.
Hospitals in Brazil are being forced to intubate coronavirus patients without sedatives amid critical medicine shortages caused by the country's current outbreak, reports claim. A doctor at the Albert Schweitzer Municipal Hospital in Rio de Janeiro said that doctors are resorting to tying patients to their beds in order to ventilate them. Medics have also been diluting sedative medication to make it last longer and using neuromuscular blockers so patients can't resist, they said on the condition of anonymity. Brazil has become the epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic, with daily deaths averaging around 3,000 a day and oxygen supplies for intensive care patients at breaking point. Brazilian newspaper O Globo reported on Thursday that other hospitals in the Rio metropolitan region were experiencing similar issues, with patients' relatives desperately calling other medical facilities in search of sedatives. The spokesperson did not comment on claims patients are being tied to their beds. An order of 3.4 million doses of intubation drugs, enough to treat 500 patients for 6 weeks, has also been ordered from private sector firms, officials added.
This post received a score of 4,400, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Being ventilated without sedatives is pure horror. I have a faint memory of being on a ventilator when I was a little kid, and I just remember feeling like I was being blown up like a balloon and my chest hurt so bad. It's been over 40 years and that memory just popped up. Those poor people. That is living hell.
I too have memories of being vented. They turned down the pressure though when I was more alert because I don't remember too much fighting of my lungs versus the pumps. But I do remember having to be cleaned out. They suction your airway. Think about that. Your breath is literally sucked out of you while they clean out the phlegm. I hated that so much. It made me cry. I was only 9. Thank goodness it was only a couple of days before I was off that and on oxygen.
I'm so glad I can't remember much of it. Sucks you had to go through that too.
The pure helplessness is just terrifying.
Their president Jair Bolsonaro told Brazilians to stop whining recently in the midst of rising deaths. Absolutely astounding how selfish and horrible he is. These poor people are suffering and he can't even pretend empathy.
Bolsonaro got COVID, and enjoyed a stay at some presidential palace with around-the-clock care, which the dirty bitch whined about and suggested he didn't need, mind you. Yet thousands of the people who are dead voted for him, and they would return from the dead solely to vote for him once again. Sounds familiar?
It is sad how poor leadership from a few can affect so many in such a horrible way.
And sadder still that half the hurt people will still vote for the same bad leader.
I don't know. Bolsonaro has a horrendous approval rating ATM. It think it's close to 30%. Come to think of it, that's pretty high for someone as monstrous as him.
I think it's 30% more than he deserves.
What percentage of people are profiting from burning the Amazon? Their support would at least make financial sense. So probably like 0.01% approval would be appropriate.
All of us? Aren't they using that land to make cheap beef? Even if you don't eat cow, you are still making money because money not spent on expensive beef gets put to other things. This doesn't mean I am happy about the situation, quite the opposite. All of us are making money and all of us are losing that biodiversity. This makes it an us problem and not something we can blame on a few people.
Beef prices in Brazil have more than doubled in the last 18 months because of exactly this.
India makes a huge percentage of the sedative drugs. And their cases just started to skyrocket and they already halted the export of some drugs and vaccines.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.